Hey everybody, welcome to the Mana Leak. I'm John as always, and this Top 10 Thursday is going to be the top 10 flavor texts from Shadows over Innistrad. So flavor texts are often ignored by a lot of players. People of course care what the cards do, and sometimes they'll care about what the art looks like, but so often the flavor texts are just totally disregarded. And there's some awesome flavor texts back in Magic's history, but today we're going to look at the top 10 of my favorite at least, flavor texts from Shadows over Innistrad. Up first at number 10 we have Wicker Witch. When there were no more crows to scare, it focused its efforts elsewhere. Which rhymes. I didn't realize until I just read that out. But it rhymes. It's a nice, simple kind of explanatory quote as to why this scarecrow isn't a defender sitting in the fields doing nothing. Why this one's walking around, hitting you in the face for 3 damage. Where'd all the crows go? Who knows? Maybe that's a mystery that'll be solved in Eldritch Moon, although probably not. Maybe they're just zombie crows like Crow of Dark Tidings. But yeah, number 10... Wicker Witch. Up next at number 9 we have Rabid Bite, which says, "You should have seen the look on both their faces," said Moorcamp Lamholt Innkeeper. I really like humorous flavor texts. They typically end up being some of my most favorite flavor texts out there. And, this one's just a fun little humorous kind of piece of flavor text, along with the art, of course, the human just biting that werewolf's arm. This easily could have been a card about a rabid wolf biting a person, and it would have been pretty boring, and obviously still would have been a really good card, but the flavor of it would have just been really boring. The fact that they took a human and had the human biting the werewolf was a really cool kind of turning the idea on its head and making it a little bit more humorous, and the flavor text just goes along with that really well. So number 9, Rabid Bite. Up next at number 8 we have Paranoid Parish Blade, whose flavor text reads, "The mind is perfectly capable of creating its own monsters." So Shadows over Innistrad has a number of quotes that are honestly just legitimately thoughtful quotes about mental stability, and this is one of them. Some of the worst monsters are definitely just made up in your head, and I definitely love this quote, and I love that it was part of the set. So number 8, Paranoid Parish Blade. Up next at number 7, we have Hermit of the Natternolls, both its front and back side. The front side says he hates company, because he's a hermit. He doesn't like company. The back side, when he becomes a terrifying, deadly werewolf, says, "But he'll have you for lunch." This is back to a humorous one. Wordplay is one of my favorite types of humor, and this is a nice kind of classic example of it. It's kind of the Cooking for Humans cookbook from the old Twilight Zone episodes. He'll have you for lunch could mean that he'll have you over and he'll make you, some nice scones and tea. But no, he is a deadly werewolf, so he is going to have you for lunch. He's going to eat you. But yeah, Hermit of the Natternolls, number 7. Nice little clever piece of wordplay there. Up next at number 6, we have the backside of Breakneck Rider, also known as Neckbreaker, whose flavor text simply says he can't outrun what he is. This is a great sort of tragic quote about really the plight of the werewolves as a whole. This is, a super fast rider. He's probably a messenger or a courier. He's probably one of the fastest horse riders in the land. But despite being the fastest person around, he can't outrun the fact that when the moon becomes full, he's going to be a werewolf and eat a whole bunch of people. Great tragic quote. Really nice, concise, well-written quote. Absolutely love it. So number 6, not Breakneck Rider, Neckbreaker. Up next at number 5, we have Vessel of Volatility. Vessel of Volatility reads, "To be honest, I'm not quite sure what's going to happen," said Rena Selhoth Alchemist. This is pretty goblin-y, and goblin-y flavor texts are typically some of my favorites. Now, of course, there's no goblins on Innistrad, so we don't get things like hot soup or goblins bumbling around, not quite doing things properly. But we still get a cool little goblin-y type quote of this alchemist just having no idea what this Vessel of Volatility is going to do. Unfortunately, it's a totally unplayable card, so you won't really see this flavor text too much. But yeah, number 5, Vessel of Volatility. Up next at number 4, we have another pretty unplayable card, Structural Distortion. Structural Distortion's flavor text says, "As Zendikar has bled, so will Innistrad. As I have wept, so will Sorin," says Nahiri. This is a great story piece. So Wizards is really making strides to make sure that the story of the set is in the cards, in the art, in the flavor text, kind of in the mechanics as well, because prior to this, the story was really just in the articles online. If you didn't follow and read those articles every week, you had no idea what was happening. This happened back in Theros, where Elspeth died. and it wasn't depicted on a card anywhere. So if you didn't go and read the story, you had no idea that Elspeth was killed by Heliod. You did not know that. Yeah, they've taken great strides to fix that, and this is a really good example of it. This is Nahiri, just a really dark, clear revenge quote from her. She is out to just get back at Soren and everything he knows, even if that means probably destroying or significantly damaging an entire world. So yeah, number 4, structural distortion. Up next at number 3, we have Fevered Visions. Fevered Visions says, the mind can only expand so far before it flies apart. This is a great kind of Lovecraftian feeling quote. You know, visions are great and all. It's great to have knowledge of things that you probably shouldn't know about. But if you get too much knowledge, you're just going to go totally insane and just lose it. Your mind is going to fly apart. Cool little quote, well written. Number 3, Fevered Visions. Up next at number 2, we have Watcher in the Web. Watcher in the Web says, lost in the woods is an optimistic way to describe a villager's disappearance. Found in the woods is frequently more appropriate. Yeah, this is a very clever, well-written piece of flavor text. It's a really nice bit of kind of world building. We get we get an Innistradian colloquialism. We get to hear a phrase that people on Innistrad use. You know, somebody hasn't been seen for a while. Oh, well, they're probably lost in the woods, or they got lost in the woods. Realistically, they're probably going to find their desiccated corpse in a spider web. So, you know, not good. But cool little quote, colloquialism here, cool little bit of world building. Definitely like this quote. Number 2, Watcher in the Web. Finally, at number 1, we have Skin Shredder, the backside of Skin Invasion. And it says, patient complained of burning sensation in upper back and at base of neck. Bed rest recommended. In a couple of days, he should feel like a new man. Said Lagra, Hamlet physician. Lagra's the worst doctor ever. Somehow she totally didn't notice the giant bug on the back of his neck sucking out his blood and life force and presumably implanting itself or something. You know, maybe Lagra was correct. He probably did feel like a new man in a few days, or at least a new giant, vaguely man-shaped bug horror monster thing. But yeah, fun little quote. A great way to fill up space because, of course, Skin Shredder has no rules text. It's a vanilla creature. So I do like when they fill that space with really good flavor text. And this is just kind of funny, humorous, little bit of wordplay there with the feels like a new man kind of thing. Great piece of flavor text. Love it. Number 1, Skin Shredder. So that's going to wrap it up for the top 10 flavor texts in Shadows over Innistrad. These were my 10 favorite ones. If you had one that didn't make the list, let me know what it was down below. If one of these was your favorite, let me know down below as well. But as always, if you have any questions, comments, or suggestions, you can find me on Twitter at TheManaLeak. That's L-E-E-K, like the vegetable, not the card. You can also find me at Facebook.com/TheManaLeak and Twitch.tv/TheManaLeak. You've already found me here on YouTube. You've got that comment section down below. Please make use of it. Click that thumbs up icon. Click that subscribe button if you haven't already. But if you do have any questions, comments, or suggestions, let me know. Otherwise, I will see you all next time.